It could be worse.
Welcome. Don't laugh at me. Welcome to Failure with me, Kenya Elan, a podcast for losers. Surprise. Welcome to the podcast. My guest today is Sonal Aggarwal, the very funny, I like to consider you the comedy like fairy godmother of Chicago.
Nice.
Yes, you're my comedy fairy godmother. That's how you just like pop in and you're just like great energy and you're funny and then you make me feel good and then you know what I mean? And then I see it and you pop up again somewhere else and it's the same thing and I'm just like, oh great, okay, cool.
With that maternal presence of like,
Yes.
what's going on with your posture?
Yeah.
You know, ice isn't good for your
Yes.
digestion.
Or being like, Kenya, you did not say, and I'm like, they'd be like, okay, don't judge me for what I'm about to say. And then you'd be like, I would like say whatever the sentence was. And you'd be like, Kenya, you didn't say anything. You literally just didn't say anything at all.
So much prep on like, what am I not supposed to be judging
You're like,
you
what was the
about?
bad part? I'm like, okay, never mind.
I'm
You're
judging
right.
how there was nothing to judge.
No,
Those-
yeah.
Those
Yes.
are just objective
But-
facts.
Yes, exactly. I know. And I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? But no, welcome. Sorry, I'm just getting this started. But welcome. I'm excited to have you. How is your week? How's this week been for you?
I'm excited about the conversation around failure because it's just like rooted in shame and all of the visceral feelings that come with failure just go straight to that fight or flight in the general population, right? Where people are like, ew, yuck. Are we talking about things that I've done wrong? Run away. And it's like you have to make mistakes. You have to fall down to run or whatever, however the saying goes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, entirely.
And it's okay. And I mean, have you had any like really big bombings on stage? Not like in buildings.
Recently? Are you interviewing me now? Recently?
No, just in general, because my big one that I remember was it was during the pandemic, and I hadn't been doing a lot of stage time because it was the pandemic. There just wasn't a lot of stage time. I'd been doing a lot of Zoom stuff, and I got booked to do 12 minutes at the Laugh Factory after T-Murph.
Yes. And how did that?
T-Murph is like however many years in, he's on TV, he is a touring headliner, he's an amazing Chicago comic, such a nice guy, fantastic father, friend, figure, whatever. And it was like an out-of-body experience. I remember I had moments where I was just like silent on stage because he's so much energy.
Yes.
He moves around the whole stage, and
Yeah.
I move around a lot, but anybody is considered low energy compared to
comparison.
T-Murph.
No, yeah. Go ahead.
And I remember just people being like, I was like, wow, that was so bad. And people being like, that was pretty good considering. Under the circumstances, you
No, for
slayed.
sure.
And
Yes.
I'm like, if you have to say under the circumstances,
Yes.
that means it went bad. But I was also so grateful for it to have happened because you want those terrible out-of-body experiences to happen in a circumstance like that, where it's not like a paid gig. It's not like I'm taping for Comedy Central right now. or
Right.
something.
Yes. No, that is the worst. I would die. I think that is when I would die if it was that big of a deal.
And
I
then you'd
really-
be
and
reborn.
just shit the bed. Yes. Well, yeah. And then you start all over again. But yeah. No, I had a similar situation with, do you know Parker Callahan? Mm-hmm. He did his like.
Park the Lark.
Yes. Park the Lark. Yes.
I don't know how the fuck he makes those videos. I don't know how anyone makes content. It's so hard.
No, I don't know either.
It's like
just-
full
the struggle is
film
real.
direction.
It's full film school, and I
TikTok.
failed out of film school. And it's like I failed out of film
I
school.
didn't know that.
Yes, but no, I had to follow Parker Callahan once, and I was just like, how do I? I was like, what do I do? I like got up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell my little like fucking Mary Kate and Ashley joke. You know what I mean? And like at one point, he ended his set. He does this like the Folgers theme, just jingle.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
And he does that, but he sings it over and over and like a different, rhythms, iterations, blah, blah, blah. And like the audience is doing it with him, all this stuff. And he's like, and he finishes on that. And everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. And then I come up and I'd already been nervous because it was like a bunch of different people. I felt like the baby of the babyest, the youngest amongst everyone in the, what's it called, comedy wise. And
the most freshman.
Yes.
With these seniors on the varsity team.
Exactly. And I had to follow. And I remember at one point I just started singing it too. And I was just like, no.
You're like, that bit is over. I'm doing my bit, which I can't access right now.
I can't even get there because I'm just like, also too, it was at Sleeping Village, which I think Sleeping Village, great venue, whatever, but has like a postage stamp of a green room, and there's no place to go to like clear your head. You know what I mean? You can't get away from anybody for like 2 seconds to just like find yourself. And so it was also, I think, part of that part as well. I was just like, all the energy was just like trapped inside my body, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then he's fucking singing this song, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll do that too,
And you died, and you were reborn.
And I was reborn. Yes, exactly.
That's the thing about death; it gets such a bad rep. People are so scared to die on stage, but then you will come. Even last night after the show, I got like lost in the basement.
Yeah,
there was 2 stairwells up and out, and I was like, because the office basement was so huge. That's a lot of these venues in Chicago are like a storefront and a back room, and then suddenly it's like, oh, do you want to go put the speaker down in the basement? And suddenly you're in like a wine cooler, and you're in a downstairs office, and I was going up the wrong set of stairs, and I was coming out to this alley and fence, and I'm like, this is wrong. This is not the same way that I came down. And I finally come out the right stairs, and the owner is like, Sonal, where have you been? What were you doing? I'm like, I was lost in the basement. It was very uncomfortable. And he's like, who the hell gets lost in the basement? I'm like, this guy, this is me.
I get lost.
You need signs. You need like an arrow map.
I don't work here.
I'm like, that's never happened before.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one.
No, no.
That was lost. And it is funny how we say things like, oh, I think this will be so funny in retrospect, because it's not funny at the time. And I even remember that time at the Laugh Factory. I'm like, this is going to be really funny in retrospect. It's not funny right now.
Right.
I'm just on stage. He was doing all these impressions of like Chicago gangsters in the spring versus the wintertime, things that are not in my wheelhouse and wouldn't even be like comfortable for me to speak on. Like, I grew up in the suburbs. Our gangsters were like the tax guy and
exactly,
and those mean girls on the cross country team. And I'm like, man, my mom is so weird, huh?
Right.
Cricket,
right.
Cricket,
yeah,
cricket
like
chirp.
Our experiences are not the same.
But it was also just like, in terms of an out-of-body experience, what does that even mean? Because it was like my spirit left my body because I don't want to be in my body because it's so physically uncomfortable what's happening. But at the same time, I was guiding myself back, and I'm like, I'm in my breath. I'm like, I'm not panicking. I feel very calm, and this time will pass, and nobody's gonna remember this like I am. This will stay with me forever. But I'm. It's not like I went out, 6 months later, and somebody's like, "Oh, how's the comedy going? Remember that time you were at the Laugh Factory and you just like went quiet for a few minutes on stage?" People remember the craziest things too.
Yeah.
Like even yesterday at the show, this girl's like, "I'm not going to sit in the front because last time I got made fun of for my name being Megan. Do you remember that?" I'm like, "No, of course I don't remember.
Right,
you remember that,
right? You remember that because I hurt your feelings."
It wasn't me. I wasn't the one. I don't have a Megan bit, but I mean, we all have like Karens, Megans,
right? I mean, the names, right? The
Heather,
Hannahs, Hannah, yes.
Heather.
Hannah's the good. Hannah's the good. Karen's the bad, and then there's like some in between.
We trust Hannah's. I didn't get the memo.
I guess so. I don't know. That's what. Whenever they talk about a good one, they're helpful Hannah. I don't fucking know, but no, there was one lady last night. Okay, first of all, it was a very fun show, but there was one lady last night in the front row who just kept. Did you see this person? She was constantly making faces and good things, but it was just so distracting because she would just be like, Like her eyes would just get so big. And
was she over here?
Yeah,
like if you were
smaller
one of the young
woman,
girls.
Yes, shorter,
over,
like curly,
over here,
dark
or
hair.
was she in the front here? Like if you were on stage.
To your right.
She was okay. I didn't really see her because I was talking to the people over here because one of the girls at the show, I'm like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "Our moms are friends. We were." Do you remember Neha Sharma? We were at her wedding together, and I'm like, oh God, why is this happening?
Like, why are you bringing this up right now?
And she's like, you remember my sister was the maid of honor? I'm like, oh my God! And then it takes a while with the memory palace, and you have to build the palace, guide you into the room, and like you can, and then finally you're guided to the memory, and you're like, was that fun for everybody else?
Right,
just watching us build
right.
this.
Like this is more of a. I was like, I just asked for your name. This is more of a thing we do afterwards, not like right in the middle of everything.
She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to call on me. I go, yeah, me neither. It was really funny. I called my dad. I was like, Hina? She was at the show last night. And he's like, oh, Amit uncle's daughter? And I'm like, yeah, I love that you remember. I love that you should have been there at the show.
He immediately was just like, got it, yes.
He was like, got it, yeah. And I know I'm gonna jump into the topic. I don't know if you prepped it already, but something that you did before you started doing comedy, because I feel like stand-up is one of those things that's so easy to say from the outside, where people either go, oh, I don't know how you do that. That seems so brave and so hard. And it's like, I mean, it is, but it's like anything where it gets less hard every time that you do it, and you get more in the work of it, of like what hit, what didn't hit, how can I clean this up, how can I get to wherever I'm going more quickly, and it's one of those things that people are so scared to try because they're so scared of the discomfort of it not going well.
Yes.
But you have to go through those experiences so you know what you like.
Yeah.
And way before I was doing stand-up, I was in India, very blessed to be able to be there because I have a visa and a passport because of my family is Indian. So, we just always had that from the time that I was little. And I had escaped from my family. I'm like, I'm staying in India when you guys go back to Chicago. And my dad's like, how the hell are you going to stay in India? You don't even speak any Hindi, like the national language. I'm like, I speak a little bit. I
can get by.
I can get by.
Right.
I do the head bobble pretty authentically. And then I met this Brazilian girl, and she was older than me, and I was so impressed by her. She did like a visa wedding in the end of the 90s when it was still like you could get like $50,000 to marry somebody from like the Chinese mafia, and she was living in like a penthouse thing in Shanghai or whatever, but then 9/11 happened, and then the whole process of the guy getting this visa kind of got messed up, so she didn't get the 50,000. I think she ended up getting like 10 or 15, I don't know. But one of the things that she did, because she was such a hustler, and I just remember being so impressed by her, she would take clothes that were made in India and she would go to Europe and sell dresses and things like saris cut into dresses and tops. And I even I see a Navy Pier, I'm like, I totally know where those dresses are made in Rajasthan, a state in India. And she was like, come with me to Europe and you're gonna sell clothes with me, and we'll live together in this apartment with other random artist folk from South America. And she's like, you are gonna crush this, you're gonna be so good at this, because I speak Spanish already. We were going to Italy, and it's very molto simile, the Spanish and Italian grammar-wise. And
do you want to do that one more time?
È molto simile. Si parli spagnolo, parli italiano, facilissimo.
Remember how before we got started I said I was asexual? Not anymore.
now she's like, that's hot.
Oh, hey.
It's so funny.
Wow, I'm awake.
Also, like ethnic white men who can do accents.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's hot.
Yeah,
I've dated a few Irish, and there was one who would just do an Australian Sonal, and I was like, that's hot. And he's like,
just
why?
Keep saying my name. Just,
doing some water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love
it's
that.
the A's, the vowels. The vowels are killing me right now.
So I went to Italy with her, and I fucking hated it. I hated it. Just
Why?
because all you're thinking about, like with stand-up, all you're thinking about is when you are on stage and you have the mic in hand and it's a full audience and you're crushing. You know, that's like the tip of the iceberg. You're not thinking about production. You're not thinking about getting the audience to the venue.
Right.
You're not thinking about, you know, ticket sales and whether or
The
not
whole
this is a free
business
show, the
side.
whole business side of it.
Yeah.
And all you're thinking about is that moment when you're walking down the beach in Sardinia or in Rome or whatever, and you've like got these beautiful clothes and these women are just like throwing money at you. We had to get the clothes from India to Italy. And there were all these,
Right.
there was a shipment lost because they sent one box to Romania instead of fucking Rome. You know, then she's like on the phone with the post office. Nobody
Right.
wants to cover it. Who's going to pay for this lost package?
Right.
Then that's, you know, one production line that we were supposed to sell those clothes to have the money for the next round of clothes, you know. And then these women, you have to speak to really rich people and you have to be kind of rude to them for them
Right.
to like you.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, rich people are like, it's that masochistic, like whatever thing of like they want you to treat them like
And you have
shit
to
or
be
whatever.
like, you know what? You don't like this? Fuck you.
Right.
You know, vaffanculo, vai, prendi un'altra parte. Non voglio niente. Non ho bisogno de sua soldi. You know, and I'm like, this is the more rude you are, the more they kind of fuck with you.
They're like, oh wait, no, I want it.
I want it now.
Yeah.
I want it now. And you'd be like, let me go tell this guy, can you just make a comment when this woman tries on the dress? Be like, Madonna, ma che bella, signorina. You know, and then you give that guy like €2 or something, you know,
Right.
just to make a comment. And
Right.
these women don't have a mind of their own. They
Right.
need the random man
Yes.
who's like over there to be like, they don't have any sense of self to be like, I feel good in this dress.
Yes.
I need random people to tell me that.
tell me.
And she was lying, you know, she's like, per ogni vestito che lei prendi, you know, for every dress that you buy, one of Sonal's cousins will like go to medical school in the village in India. And I'd be like, and all I knew how to say was provare non costa niente when I first started, which means like to try is free. So it was fun. I mean, I was learning Italian. We were definitely this like, you know, very, very much in my 20s type of thing that I wouldn't have the endurance for now. But I mean, she has like a production line. She has tailors that she works with in India. Now 10 years later, she takes
Right.
a production
She's like made it a whole
to Brazil.
She's continued this whole thing.
She's continued this whole
Right.
thing. And I was like, I hate this. I don't even
You're
like
this is not
carrying
my
the
job.
clothes from the car to the beach is not something that you think about when you first go into it, you know, and just like dealing with the police. She was really good. I mean, she's like a white Brazilian person. The more that you go travel in the world, you're like, oh, white supremacy is a global phenomenon. Like,
Yes, colorism is definitely a thing.
my friends are Italian, you know, Mexican, Brazilian, but they're all white. They're all extremely
Right.
If they learn to speak English, like they could just sound like they're Midwesterners. You know, you very rarely see like very dark Mexicans traveling, or they all look blonde. They're all like
Yeah, like
blonde,
very much like
blue-eyed.
white passing. Just like
Very much
yeah.
white passing.
Yes, that is the world that we live in entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't even know. Yeah, it's I'm like, how did we get here?
How do we get to white supremacy? Always. I was like, my personal
you started
failure
talking about
led me
started talking
to
about selling clothes,
realize.
and you're just like, so Kenya.
Did you know? But the selling clothes did lead me to juggling, which is so funny.
Okay, I just feel like I'm like, what? I feel like you've just jumped into so much of life, just like feet first. I don't know if it's head first or feet first, but you jump in and you've gone for it is what it sounds like. You're like, I'll figure it out.
I mean, there was a lot of privilege in terms of like having an American passport.
Yes.
And having, you know, that safety net. If anything happens to me, I can come back to the States. And I have a mom and dad who are not excited about what I'm doing, but they will be there no matter what happens. You know? And I mean, like, there's nobody, you just need so many permits and passes and permission to do everything here that really prevents access and entry. You know, like who is designing clothes and selling them like on the street here? That's not possible.
Right. Yeah, that's not a thing.
You would be arrested.
Right.
immediately. You know, to be like, this is illegal.
Hey, you gotta stop.
You gotta stop.
That's like, well, no, it's like just like you think about just like the sausage lady over in like Milwaukee.
They
Like,
they just stopped her.
yeah.
Did you hear about that?
No, what
I was
happened?
looking
Wait.
for her. I was like, I'm so fucked up, and I need something right now. I need a Polish before I go fucking freeze my ass off at the blue line.
Right.
You know, and I'm like,
Right.
And they were like, yeah,
And they
the
just pull up,
police
yeah.
were like, you gotta go. You don't have a food license.
Right. And it's like, okay. It's like,
She
I've
is
never.
saving lives.
Right. I've never gotten sick. I've never. Right. She's always there when I need her, and she's got a myriad of things. But it's like she's always there when I need her.
She's always there when you need
Right.
her, and you're like so thankful for her. She's there rain or shine. She's there in a blizzard, just in the car with the car running and her
right.
little grill.
The only thing I can rely on in this world.
And now the Poe, white supremacy.
Yeah.
Once again.
And then here we back to square back to square one. Gosh darn it.
Shutting her down, you know. And same with like jugglers and fire dancers are like pretty hot
Yeah.
in
How did you
other
get juggling and
places.
fire dancing? Wait. Yes. Sorry. We're going back
Because
to this.
the same you know, little market where we would be, what's it called? Piazza Navona or something. That's one of like these big plazas where there's fountains all over Italy, and in Rome you can drink the water anywhere. Did you guys know that?
No, it's that clean.
That's with the whole like all roads come back to Italy, and the Italian legal system around how their waterways are protected. Also, Italian sparkling water is like one of the only sparkling waters in the world that's pH regulated.
What?
I know. Our water's so fucked.
I know. We're
Our
so
water's
fucked.
so bad.
Our shit's fucked.
I mean, Italy is having a tough time in general.
Dude, okay, I saw this clip today, and it was this like some
great
like
water.
info. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Italy for the water. I gotta go. Haven't been yet, but I hear great things from
You
someone.
can drink water
but
anywhere.
I can drink the water
You can
anywhere.
Drink water
there, so.
out of a fountain, not out of the fountains,
Yeah.
but wherever it's like flowing, and you can fill bottles.
I know. My sister will see me like turn the tap on and just like fill up a glass really quick. And she's like, "Do you really want to? You're not gonna fill. You don't have. You don't have a Brita, right? You don't have a Brita." I'm like, no. And like every time I go to turn on the faucet, I'm just like, well, I guess there's another
This
like
is it.
shaving a few more days off. You know what I mean?
My pineal gland is just falling apart.
Right. No.
All that calcium.
Right, exactly. And the flora, I don't even know. But no, but it was like I saw some clip today, and it was like some like InfoWars, like whatever, like chick trying to do some like gotcha shit on the street. But she's like talking to this woman, and she's like, so why do you believe in socialism? And this woman's like, because I believe,
Socialism?
right? Because she was like, you know, how dare you believe in socialism, blah, blah, blah. And just trying to get her to be upset about whatever. And she's like, well, I think we should have healthcare. I think we should just have free healthcare in this country. And she's like, did you know that this lady comes back? She's like, did you know that in Venezuela, the socialists, the 1%, the rest of the country is just eating rats, and the 1% is just letting it happen. And this lady's just like, what are you talking about? She's like, so do you want social? She's like, so then do you know Bernie Sanders has a $3 million house? Like, she's just like throwing things at her. She's like,
Does
hey
he?
lady, who knows? I don't know.
Fucking Bernie.
Who knows? Who knows if he does or not? But it was just like she just kept throwing just like random facts at her, and it's like, lady, we just want. It's like, why are you? The argument doesn't even make any sense. It's like, what are you upset about? It's like this country's going to hell in a handbasket, and you're on the train with us. Why are you fighting for it to like for us to like not? Why are you fighting the people trying to grab the fire extinguishers? You know what I mean? It's like this country's going to shit.
Also, like, what does me wanting access to dental have to do with, like, you know, it's actually Bernie Sanders who's preventing you.
Right. It's like, what?
In his $33 million house.
Right. Like the circle, it was just like, it didn't make any sense. And she just kept throwing nonsense at her. And it was just like, lady, I just want to, she's like, no, I remember. She said something like, so you want to pay for someone who's been smoking a pack of cigarettes every day for the last 24 years? You want to pay for their mistakes? And she was like, yeah. Sure. She's like, as long as it's free, I don't really care. It's like, as long as it's free for everybody, I don't really care. She's like, so you want to pay more taxes for that person who's been smoking cigarettes for
What kind of self-righteous cunt lifestyle is she living where she's like, I only drink room temperature water, no alcohol, no cigarettes,
right?
Ever.
Right.
Also,
like,
carbonation can lead to decay.
Right.
Like, what are you even saying?
Right. It just didn't make, it was just like, what are you talking about, bro?
My mom would get along with that lady really good.
Really?
She'd be like, we should never pay. We shouldn't have to pay for the smoker. And I feel like, shut up, Mom. She's like, she won't even drink fucking carbonated water. She's like, you know, that's really bad for you. And I'm like, you're so boring. I hate going out to eat with her. She'll be like, I'm fasting today. I'm like, why? Are you Muslim? And she's like, no, because today is, you know, Purnama. And I'm like, you're literally just making up holidays. You are making up.
You've just made up a day.
You have an eating disorder.
Right. I was going to let you say it first. But yeah, it's like you're coming up with holidays to just because you got food.
Even
you know what
family,
I mean?
friends, like, you know, we don't have like biological family around, so we just call everyone auntie and uncle. And my childhood friend, she's like, I went out to eat with your sister and your dad, and it was so nice not having your mom there because your mom is just so annoying. She's like, oh, are you really gonna have an extra piece of cheese, you know? And like, I don't think we need dessert. I don't eat sugar ever. And it's like she's just always on these, you know, personal manifesto soapboxes. And it's like, yeah, just stay home. Don't invite her out to eat. Don't invite my mom out to eat. They're 10 years apart, and my dad is like 7. I don't know. Do people know the answer to this? Like right off the top of their head? I'm like, it's okay. Somebody was born in 49.
Like 30 minutes later.
Somebody was born in 57. And that's from like passwords. I'm like, I know one of the passwords is like,
oh my
83,
God.
86, 57.
Well, okay, my mom's 67, my dad's 77.
I think they're close to that.
So around the same.
Yeah.
Around the same age.
Same. What's up with that 10-year difference?
I don't know.
Is your mom literally providing like hospice care for your dad? Sorry, no disrespect, Dad, but like,
no, because they're they're divorced. So that's
smart.
She got out.
Smart.
She got out before she had to be held
for my mom.
Yeah, you got to hit it before they hit 50. You know what I mean? If you want to as a woman want to live the rest, find out your final chapters, just like living your life. You know what I mean?
She got a divorce and a gym membership.
Right.
She's like, I'm going to the sauna. Right. I need to relax.
Exactly. No, exactly. Plus, she just got her hip replaced, so she's just like living.
She's living.
Yes, she's in like full Allison
Nowadays,
mode.
those hip replacements are like incredible. People are coming out with like 2-day recovery. Like,
yeah, it took nothing. It took nothing at all. Yeah, I thought for sure that she would have some sort of like. I was very nervous about the whole thing. I was just like I was like a wreck because she also did it like out of state. She like went down to Arizona to do it. Like we've got family down there, and the whole time I'm just having crazy dreams.
Aww.
Yeah, it was bad. I was just
That's so sweet.
I was like, oh wow, I love my mom. You know what I mean?
That's really. My mom actually, like, she just like, let me try your bike. And I was like so anxious the whole time. She just rode for like half a block down the alley. And I was like, be careful. Don't. Watch out for the wall. And she's like, what are you talking about?
What?
I'm so far.
Right. You're
like if anything happens to you,
I know.
I'll be in so much trouble. You are.
I thought you were gonna be like, I'd be sad, but you're like, no, I'm gonna be in trouble.
What the hell is Dad gonna do if you get into a bike accident because you were hanging out with me? We can't hire somebody to take care of both of you. You know, like you are the primary care provider. Please, no reckless activity. She's always doing reckless shit too.
No, yeah, it's crazy. Yes, watching your parents get older is an insane thing.
And
just age in general is an insane thing. Getting older as a woman is an insane thing. I'm like, I don't know. I've hit 32 now, and I don't know. It's like I see I feel like I see like teenage girls and I'm just like, oh my God. And then I don't know. I'm just like seeing everybody, I don't know, ageism. If we were talking about colors, I'm just like, I don't even know. Sorry.
And coming back to
my brain
the
is
idea
fried from this last 7 days of summer. I just have to say that. I'm just like
and
trying.
Now it's winter
I'm just like
again.
fighting. Right. Yeah.
It's winter.
I'm just like, I'm trying.
I was like, did you not check the weather app before you left your house? And that's so mean. I'm like, I'm wearing long johns. Right. I have them on my person.
No,
I'm like, I don't trust it's 70 degrees.
I'm happy
this could change any second. This could change any second.
I know. I should learn my lesson. I lived here my entire life. You'd think I know what the fuck is going, like how to maneuver in these situations, and I definitely always end up doing the wrong thing, and then I definitely look mentally ill.
There were some people out, and I was like, "Oh, are you visiting? You weren't here in the winter, were you? You're just here when it's cute. You don't deserve Chicago when it's cute." And I was like, "I'm sorry. Welcome. Enjoy." this beautiful city. I hope you have long johns on you though, because then you're gonna get mad. Then people get mad and they're like, but then the weather changed.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's definitely what happens.
We have a lot of fronts, you know. It's the Great Plains.
We have a lot of fronts.
The weather's fronting.
This is become a meteorology episode.
Do you want
the
me
weather
to
was
get
total.
do you know that you can look at the meteorology on the weather app, and I'm just on here all the time. I'm just on here all the time looking at the precipitation
should be able to
report.
look at that and know just how depressed I'm going to be for the next 7 days.
I honestly, I find it so overwhelming when it's like sunny and warm out. I'm like, oh my God, it's so bright. Somebody, like, I need sun, because you're just so acclimated at this point.
Yeah.
To the gray, and you're like, okay, I need to like find this.
Right. Well, that
within.
was the thing about this past week, was like it just sort of smacked us in the face, and it was just like, okay, great. I'm not prepared for this. I was like, I don't want to wear anything tight. I'm like, I just wanted to keep everything real loose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just want everything to be real loose, and I don't want to be sweaty. But that's not the options I've been given. And then I feel like there's also just like that mental thing of like, the sun is out.
Like in the summer, you don't like sweating?
I have to be prepared for it. It's like April 17th or whatever. Like, I'm not ready. I'm not mentally there.
For sweating.
I'm not. No, I'm not there. I'm not there to be that, and I'm not there for like the Chicago party monster that's inside me either. I'm not ready for that. I wasn't prepared for her to come out.
That like Chicago party aunt.
I've made so many bad decisions this week.
She
and
was out.
And it's right. And
Oh,
I was
really?
like, yes. And I was just like,
Let's
I'm
hear
just
about
like
some of your bad
spiraling.
decisions
Oh my
this
God. No. It's just been nonstop drinking and like field and just
I'm
a lot of
astounded how
things.
few people actually know about Field.
It's picking up, and it's honestly, don't do it.
No, it's the funniest one. So Field is a dating app. Field is a dating app. It's a kink app, and I'm doing a bit about it where I'm like, none of this is fact. None of this is verified.
No, there's
I want
no,
a referral.
You don't know, right.
How many orgies have you been to, Eric
Right.
from Skokie?
Right.
Do you know how expensive
There's
orgies
no
are?
way to there's no way to verify if these people are real. The only verification that you have is that this person is paying for the app, because it's like that little orange dot that comes up by their name.
Really?
Yeah, and that's
Which
all
is,
that
like,
means, is that they've
gross.
paid money to do
I thought
this.
you were going to say the only verification is that Facebook group.
No.
Have you dated this guy?
Oh my God, no.
Are you
Yeah.
in that group?
I am in one of them. I feel bad talking about it. I feel like
Why?
am, because I feel like it's against the rules. I don't know. It's like the one time I'm following the
I
rules
feel like
in my
that's
life.
our one safety.
No,
thing.
it is. I know, and women fuck it up all the time by showing dudes what's on there.
What do you mean? Oh, the Facebook group?
Yeah. They'll like, if they know
Why?
the guy, they'll show them what's happening, and it's just like, don't tell him. We literally, this is all we have. Literally, since the dawn of time, all women have had is gossip and
Ladies,
like whispering our secrets
what
to each
is
other
the
to try to
end
keep each other
game?
safe.
Yeah, why would you
I don't
reveal
know.
the
I
gossip
don't
thread
know.
to these guys? Do you think that
I don't know.
he's going to eat your pussy for like 2 more
I
minutes?
guess. I don't know. What, he's gonna fall in love with you because you told him that everyone thinks he's a predator? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what is he gonna do?
And like when shady people reveal, like, look, this is how I'm shady. That doesn't bring you into the circle of trust.
No.
That sends you further away.
Right.
It's like, what other shit do I need to know about that
Right.
you're hiding from me?
No, exactly. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And that's why with Field, I'm just like, it's funny and it's fun. I don't know. I was just like, there was a guy.
They don't put height on there, which I think
No, that's
is
the other
pretty
annoying
messed
thing.
up.
No, it's like,
Because you have
come
to
on.
judge. You're like, this looks like a tiny man who's been to orgies according to his
Right, but I'm
fucking
like,
drop
what's
down
the
menu.
difference between this and Tinder? It's just like, oh,
It's
it's
more
like everyone's
direct.
being right. Everyone keeps saying that, but the only comment or like the conversation that I'm getting in terms of people being direct is being like, oh, hey, you want to use my fuck machine? Like, that's not making it any.
Who's got a fuck machine?
The people on Field.
No, they
supposedly.
don't.
Yes, they do.
You have to be like, send me a link to your fuck machine. I want
What's the
reviews.
brand?
I want
Yeah.
referrals. I want referrals. This is where I went. I was a
No.
volunteer at a sex party in like the early 2000s in London. It was a fundraiser.
Volunteer. What?
We were there to ensure safety. We were there.
Okay.
I'm doing air quotes for the audio
Right.
audience.
Yes.
For people listening to the
Right.
podcast, I'm doing air quotes. We're doing safety. We literally had a meeting where we had to be like, all right, we're here to ensure that everyone is using dental dams
Oh my god.
and condoms because it was in Britain. And I was like the only one who raised their hand to be like, sorry, can we just do like a hypothetical situation? So here's 2 people. That's the sound of sex. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Show up like, hello there. My name is Sonal
Hey,
Aggarwal.
guys. Hey.
I love safety.
Yeah.
Can I just...
This looks like we're having fun.
That love is gloved. Carry on. Tally ho. That hoe has been tallied.
You just have a whistle. You know what I mean? It's like, stop.
I wish I had a safety
Like a
inspector whistle.
Yeah, you're just like the sex referee. Honestly, that sounds... That would be great. I feel like they need to add that into...
I don't know if any of the other volunteers were as diligent as I was.
I feel like you would take it. You're a very professional person doing things very seriously. You were on top of it. I believe that. You know what I mean?
If
I'm ever going to go to a sex party in whatever situation, I'm going with you because I know. Yeah, you'll have referrals.
I got a referral from Golden Shower guy. Everybody, like, it was an annual event, so people like knew each other. You know, they're like,
oh my God.
Matt's
like, hey,
here.
back again
Hi,
this
Matt.
year.
Great
like,
to see you.
Right. Like,
I'm
we missed you last year.
You know each other's real names.
Yeah.
You don't even have like secret sex party code names.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, but okay. This is my issue with Field is that, yes, everyone's being more direct, but it just seems like it. Like, I had a guy.
Well, I'm like,
today.
let's just get together and smell each other and kiss.
Right. Fair enough. But I feel like at least the men that I'm talking to on these apps, what they're taking as being more direct is just going straight into a very like intense sexual conversation that it's like that's not what this is.
Right,
like,
and they're
like
such
the trust
losers.
isn't there.
Such
Right,
wannabe
it's
fucking
like weirdo
losers.
guys. And also too, I have to say, after COVID, I'm like, is there anything left that's like worth actually touching? You know what I mean? Like dick wise, I don't know. I'm like,
I mean, the Dalai Lama's out here just sucking tongues.
Stop.
After COVID, I'm like, at least go ahead, suck whoever fucking tongue you want on camera.
Right.
Before COVID, be like, that's just how we say hi. Right. It's our culture. You know, like, ew, not after COVID.
Right. There's so many things. It is crazy to be in this world now and everyone's like moved past it in some sort of way. But I swear to God, every time I'm on the bus and anyone coughs or sneezes like once or one too many times, you can just feel
like,
the whole thing. Right. You can just feel everyone get real tense. And I was like, oh, so you wish you had that mask right now, don't you? You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Our relationship to germs has become interesting.
Yeah, and it's so arbitrary
it's
too.
Traumatizing now. Everyone's traumatized the second you sneeze.
I mean, I'm still like eat things when they fall, like 5-second rule, but it depends where, you know, like if we were even like on the floor of like Kohl's, for example, I'm like, no, in the bin, straight into the fucking bin.
No, that's not happening.
You know, any bar floor. You know,
I
like,
dropped a piece of popcorn. I went to the Den Theater this week. Gerard Carmichael's in town, whatever. I went to go see that.
Did you see it? How was it?
It was good. It was really good. It's I don't know. He's one of my favorites, so he can't really do much wrong in my eyes. And I say that actually I should not put that. Now that that's been recorded permanently, I'm just like, oh God.
Why?
I don't know. Who knows? 10 years. And like in 10 years, it'll be like, Kenya said he's her favorite forever. No.
Oh, I thought you meant like he'll get canceled, and then it'll be like, Kenya, here it says he could do no wrong.
Exactly.
Well, turns out he kidnapped and murdered a bunch of kids. What do you have to say
While he
about
was in
that?
Chicago that week.
And you're like, I
he can do no wrong in my
obviously
eyes.
it didn't include kidnapping.
Right.
And I mean,
at the time, right. Yeah, exactly. But no, I was there and like I dropped some popcorn on the ground and I was like, I was about to just pick it up and eat it, but I was just like, I'm alone amongst strangers and I'm like, everyone's just gonna judge me. I was like, I'm not gonna. I just left it there. And then I felt bad, but then I felt like I was being rude and I was like, well, I have to clean up after myself. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. All these places where I'm like, are we supposed to tip or not? Where we have to like clean up after ourselves? I'm like, okay, separating the paper from the metal silverware. And I see people just throwing the whole fucking tray into like the little bust bins. I'm like, I mean, I feel entitled about some stuff, but at least like if you've never worked in the service industry, you just don't have any fucking idea how annoying that is.
No, yeah. You don't care. Yeah, they're definitely pieces of shit for sure. It's like corporate people, it's like, we get it. You work in an office and we're happy for you, but that you have truly no idea how the world actually works, I think, at times.
I think the other fun thing about the dating apps is that, like, depending on your demographic, you know, you'll find that everybody is hooking up with, like, the same people.
Yeah, like the circles. Or like
the circles.
A circle or like a...
Like I was talking to my friend's
situation.
Sister, and I'll get into names after, but I'm like, oh yeah, I've been on Field, and it's so funny. I did go out with this one white man. Now listen, everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, do you hate white people? Listen, he showed up covered in fucking dog hair.
I saw that guy.
You saw that
That
guy?
was the guy.
You know what I'm talking about? Long hair guy?
Yes, yeah. You were like, basically, we had a meeting in between your field date. It was pretty much what it was. Like, you guys met
I
up.
thought you meant you also went out with him.
No,
from
I
field.
saw him. No, I just saw him as I was leaving.
That was really
as
funny.
I was exiting,
you were like,
he was
why are you
coming
hooking
in.
up with somebody so tall? Leave some for
Right,
us.
right, exactly. I'm like, there's barely anything left. You know
That
what I mean?
actually is so funny to me because you're like, I'm a fucking short king. I'm like, how many options do you have, Kenya? How many people are like taller than you and available and not covered in dog hair? Probably zero. Zero. But then I mentioned the dog hair
No,
thing.
my options are dwindling.
And I mentioned, I was like, he's white, covered in dog hair, and she was like, I know who you hooked up with, like immediately.
Oh
you know,
my
and she's like, I went out on a couple dates with him, and I'm like, because the thing is, like, forget about the fuck machine. I'm just looking for eye contact. I'm looking for eye contact and sharing breath and being able to be in this fucking moment, right the fuck
Yes.
here. Right now,
Yes.
you can do whatever the fuck you want. The second you are not
Right.
mouth to mouth with me,
Right. I just want to have in this moment, yes, like us be connected and like try to build a connection and once again going back to trust and all of that, it's like just yes, we can't have that. But that's the problem. Okay, that's where I'm having the issue.
American dudes are so trash
Because they don't want to go there. They're just like, oh yeah, well I'm being more direct and that I've told you what I want
No.
sexually, but it's like, okay, just because you said you want it
And
doesn't
you're
mean now I'm just
also-
going to say
exactly.
yes.
They're living in some abstracted version of reality in which it's like, oh well, I had this one experience and my dick was so hard, and now I'm trying to like recreate
Right, that same thing over and over
instead
again.
of like, no, you have experienced that, you know that that's possible, but now what are you able to experience in this present moment? Like
right,
I had
with this current person.
I had this French kung fu boyfriend in India when I was with the Brazilian girl. She was so intense. Brazilians are very intense sexually. She was like, I must have at least one vaginal orgasm or my sleep will be ruined. So she was fucking like every single day. And I was like, I feel like that's false. I feel like you could probably fall asleep without a specifically vaginal orgasm.
Right.
She's like, it can't be clitoral. And also cannot be anal. It has to be vaginal. Yeah. Did you know that we can have all sorts of different orgasms? It's not just like, do you orgasm or not? You know, what kinds do you have?
Yes. Yeah.
So it
comes from all places.
She and I don't even know if she knows that we had a falling out because she still like comments on all my stuff on Instagram. She's 10 years older than me or something. And I was dancing with one of her men because she had many men, and he was a Senegalese dude. There's like so many beautiful Africans in Europe just being fucking disrespected by the fucking white man and white supremacy. Just like you see like the most beautiful people in Paris doing what? Selling like fake designer bags, selling the Eiffel Tower
getting caught
keychains,
in whatever the bullshit trap.
in all these just like West African, Northern African people who then can be, you know, very brown looking and be like, I was getting asked in Italy all the time, like, hey, you Africa, you know, and I'm like, India. And they're like, oh, India, okay, nice. And I'm like, let's
like,
go.
oh, a new flavor. Okay, yeah.
And I was dancing with her man just like on the dance floor, you know, no vibe beyond that. And she came and was like, don't you ever fucking dance with my man. You little fucking conniving. I know what you're doing. And I was like, oh, we're done.
Yeah.
We are done.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these women that's like out to fuck over
if
my
she was on the group,
girlfriends.
she can't be in the group. That's why she can't be in that group. She can't be the
She can't be in the Facebook group?
Yeah, she can't be in the Facebook group. She can't be.
Because there are rules
No, I'm just saying these are the women. This is the
that
woman.
would be showing.
Yes.
And
yes.
be like, you can't trust her.
Exactly.
And I don't, and it's funny too because it's like I haven't had a direct conversation with her about it just because she's much older than me. I'm like, I don't think she's going to have some, you know, clever response in which she will justify what she did instead of just receive my experience and receive what I'm saying, whether or not you agree with what I'm saying. And then I'm always so disappointed. I mean, in India too, there was always a couple of like really hot women who were hooking up with some guy who's like, I am the eagle spirit, you know, the ayahuasca told me that I am an eagle. It's like, bitch, you're a fucking basic little bitch man from where? Like, okay, from Australia, you know, like that's like reject white people. Relax, you know, like what the fuck are you talking about? And then he's fucking everyone,
right?
You know, and like the whole they need that Facebook group, like have you fucked this man, because then everybody knows, and then everybody's done this like one love, one life, fucking Bob Marley bullshit. It's like no. We are, you know, yes, we exist in the grand scheme of things, that we are one united consciousness, but there's a whole dark side of the moon that the moon can't witness itself from the other side. So it's okay also we don't have to throw ourselves into darkness in the name of light and be like, no, it's fine. So she thought that she was doing something really amazing, where she's like, I'm gonna set my boundaries really clearly. And I was like, I'm not trying to holler at your man. Also, I think that guy is gross.
Right.
And I think that you have terrible taste in men. So we can't have that conversation, because you feel so insecure and threatened that now I just feel very uncomfortable being around you and the way that you have to be in control of all your situations, you know? And I'm like, and then that coming back to then this French guy that I was with, we would literally just like be singing into each other's mouths, just like, oh, you know, and like, whoa, do you feel that? You know, and we're like kids just exploring sound. And I mean, we were in our 20s, but for me that was a very
you're young,
childlike, you know. And he'd be like, okay, Sonal, I want you to breathe like there is a rainbow from your heart and it is coming into my heart, and we will connect with the rainbow bridge of breasts. And I'm like, the rainbow bridge of breasts? He's like, breasts. And I'm like, breaths. Breaths.
Right, you're like, add that.
And I'm laughing, and he's like, okay, it's okay, you laugh. It's good for the breasts. And it was so intense and so profound. I mean, we're not together now. Fine, he's in France. I'm here now. We're still like connected, but that kind of thing is much more valuable to me than like, let me see your fuck machine.
Exactly. I know, it's about, you can't get there, because it's like what they're forgetting about is the fact that they had those moments leading up to it that were able to unlock those vulnerabilities, and like that's why you came so hard. It's not just because, you know what I mean?
The fucking youth is like, literally somebody said to me on a date, like, I'm not comfortable kissing because that I only do with, and then he said this fucking girl's name, and I'm like, who the fuck is
And it's like,
Hannah? That wasn't her name. I'm like, why am I being ghosted?
Hannah's are the good ones.
What? Oh, Hannah's are the good ones? What's the bad one? Who the fuck is Karen? Oh, sorry, no disrespect to the Karen. I feel bad. Karens have had such a hard time.
It's fine.
So okay, fine. Who the fuck is, you know, just insert name. Who the fuck is insert name? Why am I being ghosted by insert name? I don't even know this bitch. And now you actually brought her presence into my fucking house because you want to talk about what you're comfortable with. Does this bitch know that she's being disrespected? So that you can, because I don't give a fuck about this. Saying. And he goes, do you,
I'm not him.
I don't, I'm like pointing at Kenya. I'm like, motherfucker. And he goes, I don't feel comfortable kissing because that's for insert name. Do you want to do butt stuff?
Right. No. It's like, no.
And I'm like, do you? And then I literally said to him, I'm like, do you have any idea how relaxed the place where shit leaves my fucking body would have to be for it to relax and open, which is connected to my
but
mouth.
I was honest with you, so it should just like, that should just be poppers right there. Let's just be mental poppers.
He goes, I'll take a shower before.
What?
I'm like, do you think that that's like heroic or like gentlemanly?
Right, no. And that's the other thing is like, men need to also it's like that, or like the couples that are like, we are happily together and we're looking for a third and this and that, and it's like all these pictures of them at like their wedding and like kissing and whatever, and it's like, I don't want to get involved in that. I don't, like, you're not, just because you think you're being, it's like the whole thing of this app being like, oh, it's the more honest whatever, it's like, in what way? It's like, yes, you're telling me very straightforward things. That doesn't like then that doesn't build anything within me to be like, okay, well then yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like,
and I'm not impressed.
This, no,
I'm not impressed by what I'm impressed by what you're able to bring to this present moment.
Right. The words are the words. It's like it's the actions. It's actions. It's like the word. Great. I'm glad you know the words. Like we've all the words are honestly as a comedian and someone who gets up on stage and writes things. I'm just like I hate words because they've been most of them have been so co-opted and corrupted at this point, and it means so little that it's just like you might be being straightforward with me. That's great. But you're not really though, because you're just saying things. You're not really processing or like fully feeling the weight of what you're saying.
It's still like that. What is it like the pickup artist or whatever? That's the thing, isn't it? The pickup artist mentality, where it's like these are the tricks, and like the key to kind of like trick yourself into people's bedroom situations,
right?
So that like you can like manipulate yourself into. I mean, like with the French guy, he comes up to me and he was just like, "Sonal, I feel that I will make love to you tonight," and I was like, "Excuse me," and I was also like, "Oh, that's so hot." That's so, for just him to be so present in the moment of like, this is how I feel, and I feel to say this, and if you want to receive that, that's where I'm at. Right.
I'm not looking for something after. I'm just saying it, and like you can take it how you want. It's not now necessarily going to like be like, okay, well now we're going to do it just because I said it.
And there's a real vulnerability in that. Like guys have such a capacity for rejection.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, these guys on field can keep going and keeping like, do you want to see my fuck machine? Do you want to see my fuck machine? Do you want to see my fuck machine? Until somebody statistically is going to be like, sure. But like versus women will be like,
game.
Right, they can play the numbers game though.
Right.
Versus women are not doing the numbers game. I'm not. No. I'm like, I get one no, and I'm like, I'm gonna cultivate my relationship to self.
Right. I'm like, maybe I delete this for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And maybe I just take a break from all of this and like go off into the real world. And try to engage with people in the real world.
Well, I don't know. They just keep playing the numbers game. It was like, hopefully someone will just say yes and like just let you come over, or you go over to their house sight unseen, unknown, whatever, and just like let you tie them up. It's like, that's not how that person I'm glad you found them, but they're going through a lot. Let's just say that.
And that guy, the dog hair guy who you saw, which is hilarious. And I was actually glad for that.
I saw that
because I felt like
I saw that situation, and I literally downloaded the app like a few hours later. I was
you were like, okay.
Well, because you had brought it up, and then like another friend had brought it up, and I was like, maybe, you know what I mean? Because I think we both
did come over,
right?
And
he did come over,
service her pussy,
right? He did come over, and I think the other part too is I think we both, at one point, like connected on the fact that we both were like afternoon sex situation is like I'm more so during the day. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not trying to have a sleepover.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like just trying to fit it in at some point. I don't
need
you to stay.
I'm not trying to like watch you have your whole like and then like pass out in my bed after you were like, I'll get an Uber. I'll totally get an Uber.
Right.
And then I'm like fighting to wake up some man that I don't know that well. To be like, can you go?
I really like. Yeah.
Remember how you said you're gonna go? And then you're like smelling this sleeping man, and you're like, it smells okay, it's fine. Let me just like snuggle on in here, and then you're like, I guess we'll do it again in the morning. So that's math, like that's good.
Right, that's
let me get it in.
It's a 2-for-1 situation.
Let me BOGO. Buy one, get one. Let me go. Y'all trying to BOGO? Okay, you can stay. You can stay if you're gonna BOGO.
It's definitely frustrating.
That guy was like it's also amazing to have these failures, because it's like you want to be open-minded. Then he's asking me, he's like, so what do you like do for work? And I'm like, I'm a full-time artist comedian, that's what I do. He's like, yeah, but like what do you do for money? And I'm like, how fucking disrespectful are you to assume that I'm not making enough money, which is true. No, but it's also like there are so many dimensions of this. Like you have no idea what people are doing behind the scenes.
There. I don't even bring. I'm like.
I told him. I go. I'm a massage therapist. I do massage, and he goes, oh, like the rub and tug. And then I go, I mean, that's not really what I do. And he's like, sex work is a job. And I'm like, why the fuck?
What?
are we here
the way this is
now?
going back, it's like this. Okay, that's the Infowars lady. That's the Infowars.
That's the Infowars lady, where she's like,
Let's get those two
$33 million
together.
house.
Let's get those two together.
She's like, did you know that free healthcare means that Bernie Sanders is going to
giving rub and tugs?
Is giving rub and tugs? Did you know that? Did you know that sex workers...
While they're eating rats in Venezuela? And it's just like, what? Yeah, it's just like, what are you talking about? No, it's like everyone needs to, going back to being president and just feel your feelings. Just feel them for like 2 seconds and see how your mind might open up. I don't know.
Like, there's actually a lot of rubbing and a lot of tugging that you will never get to be anywhere fucking near.
Right.
Or, like, that's so sad for you that in the world, in the realm of touch as a currency, which is so sad. I mean, the reason I even got into massage because I was living in India and it was like so cheap to get a massage because it's a lifestyle thing where people are getting an Ayurvedic massage. If you go to Thailand, people are like, I got like 10 Thai massages when I was over there. Only one was a rub and tug, okay? Only one time did I pay the extra tip. And I'm like, I mean, what I do isn't sex work. And he's like, so you're saying sex workers should never? And I'm like, okay, Infowars.
Bro,
like,
you really asked me a question and now
rats.
you're getting right. But see, you're saying eat rats. No, but that's the oh my God, I fully just lost my train of thought.
Conflation.
Yes, the conflation, oh my God, my brain, dude. This week I'm dying.
It's okay. Take
fighting.
a breath. Feel the feelings. That's
no,
okay.
Yeah, but no.
You're not
what was I
failing.
gonna say? What did you say before that? Oh my
I
God,
was saying that
we gotta edit this part out, Christine, please. But
I was saying that he was. I was like, that's not really what I do. And he's like, are you saying that sex workers don't deserve rights?
Well, yeah, it's like getting defensive. It's like, why are you getting defensive? You asked me a question and I'm just answering it, and now you're gonna have this whole other opinion that has nothing to do with anything. That's the thing.
And why am I being put on defense about what I do? And if you actually want to have a conversation, because like Thai massage is a very specific type of body work that's like, oh, you don't meet that many people that even are like, oh, I'm a massage therapist, I work at Massage Envy, I work wherever, it's like, what style are you doing?
Right.
That's like a very kind of niche style. And then for that potential conversation to then be redirected to, oh, so you're like a whore.
Right, some weird judgment. That's the other thing about these men on the fucking apps is no matter what you say, it's like one time I had sex with this guy and we didn't really talk much beforehand. Afterwards, we're like,
oh, Kenya.
Yeah, she's a slut. But no, we didn't really talk much beforehand. Afterwards, we're like talking, hanging out, and I tell him that I'm a comedian, and he goes, so is that why you hate yourself? And I'm just like, what? I was like, what are you? I was like, what? I was like, this is why I don't tell people any. It's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you had sex with me too. We both just did this. Like, what do you mean? It's like these judgment things.
Did you say something about self-hatred or something?
No. I just said that I was a comedian, and he just took that as like, okay, so I'm just like mentally.
No, but you can't stop sharing. That's like that's where either the writing or this conversation or whatever comes in,
it's
where we can laugh about it.
Right.
Because even like I was so proud of myself actually. I was on a show and I was like, I'm single, just crushing dicks left and right, whatever, and I'm like later in the set, I'm like, I'm really into astrology because I have one of the good signs, that's just like my controversial thing that I like to say just to get people like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? And then
you're a Leo, right?
I'm a Leo.
Just to clarify, so everyone knows what you mean by the good sign.
What a good sign is. Yeah. I said it yesterday, and I know like 3 Leos and silence from everybody else. I'm like, oh wow, well we certainly think that we have a.
See, I'm the bad sign.
Bias.
I'm a Virgo. I'm the worst sign. No one likes
vengeful.
the Virgo. Yes.
No, that's not true.
Don't say
that's
vengeful.
not true though. I think the least popular sign would have to be like Cancers and.
I'm a Cancer moon.
Gemini's. You're like, bitch, I got that covered.
Yeah.
Like Cancer moon, Gemini rising.
Yeah.
All the bad ones in one.
Exactly.
But I said it. I go, what's your sign? And then this guy just goes, is that why you're single? And I'm like, okay, not the answer to my question, And then luckily my brain kicked in, and I just go, I don't know, maybe. Are you an astrologer? I'm like, funnily, in my birth chart, Venus was in retrograde at the time of my birth, which is very rare. So it might actually be astrologically related why I'm single. Thank you for this amazing moment and this great dialogue that we are co-creating together. Motherfucker, you dumb little bitch. You want to fucking step to me? You better get slapped the fuck down right now. And I was like, thank you for that. I feel so elegant,
Oh my God.
It's like, because it's like we're just further and further prepared, and these guys want to play in the game of the word, but they're not actually
they don't actually
prepared.
live it, but they're not living
they don't live
it.
in the word.
Right, exactly. You're just saying things.
You're just saying stuff for the sake of saying
right.
stuff.
You saw
and then
something on the internet and you're just repeating what you're just regurgitating.
I'm like, why are we in an argument about sex work now?
Right. I was like, no, I don't know. It's like you're projecting right now. You're projecting a lot of things onto me for whatever reason.
And meanwhile, like where I work, my boss is this Lithuanian lady, and Eastern Europeans are fucking intense. And she's funny sometimes, and sometimes she's super not funny. And it's like, that's okay. That's okay to do jokes that are really bad. You gotta try. Sometimes some are gonna hit and some are really not. But one of the things that she said early on when I started working with her, she's like, "Oh, okay. So like, if anybody asks for like a happy ending, just tell them, yeah, we got a guy." You know, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, my husband, he's really good. And I was like, that's good. That's good. If nobody's asked, because she does a pretty good job screening, you know, and just checking what people like, what kind of, how do you have experience, and it's never happened. But I did have one guy who was making a lot of like sex noises. He was just like, oh, and I was like, I hope there are no fucking neighbors in the building right now, because they're gonna be embarrassed for you, you loser, you virgin ass motherfucker. You have never been alone in a room with a woman before, have you? Like, this is so, I wasn't afraid. I was like just embarrassed for him, you know. I'm like, I was laughing. I was like, oh God, what a dork. And then he like grabbed my foot at one point, because Thai massage, like you're both on the ground, and he started to touch my foot. And I just like removed my foot and kind of moved his hand, and I was like, just massage his shoulder for a second. I just non-verbally communicated, like, yeah, that's not what we're that's not what we're doing, you know.
Yeah,
and he's like, you're like really good at this. I'm like, yeah, it's my job that I have trained to do. So I don't know what you think is going to happen, but if you want sex work, just like support regular sex workers.
Right.
Don't try to like
get on field.
Sneak it in there. Don't get on field and be like, who wants to see my fuck machine?
Right.
I do feel like I'm always just doing research. I don't know. I feel like with Tinder too, you just never know when people are like, I'm actually just here looking for people to drink coffee with. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, no, I don't want that either.
Ew.
I don't want to talk to
Just
that
drink
person.
coffee with your fucking self.
Right. Yeah. Don't note to anyone listening who will be listening to this, do not ever ask me to go on a coffee date.
This isn't coffee and bagel.
Right.
They have an app
Immediate
for that.
ick. Immediately disgusted by
But
you.
people use it differently. Like, I guess in India, people use Tinder to socialize. Like,
Fair enough.
I need friends. Do you want to be my friend? You know, but if you're
Right.
clear like that in the app, then fine, whatever.
Right. Yeah, but people always say that they're looking for new friends, and it's like then they're like, hey, then this fuck machine comes back out again. You know what I mean?
My least favorite thing about Hinge is how Hinge is like, you two are the most compatible. And they'll show you some fucking mutant troll, and you're like, in what world am I compatible with this?
No. Well, yeah.
We wouldn't even get put together for a fucking school project. Like, this is so infuriating to me. What AI is like, fuck her. Let's make her feel like
and I was
shit
like, based
today.
on what? I'm like, I didn't take a quiz. Like, I barely answered the questions.
I barely answered the question.
Right. This is based on
I
what?
put my height.
Right. Exactly. It's
And
like, I haven't given
location.
you no information. Yeah. The Hinge. I'm like, the Hinge one I don't understand, because they just kept connecting me with like 22, like young 22-year-old like men, and I was just like, okay, first of all, Hinge, I'm trying to come, so let's start there.
Not teach.
Right. Exactly.
Like, okay, well, let's do
Second
an
of
anatomy
all-
of the vulva.
Right. I was like, what are we picking up on here? You know what I mean? Like, what is it about me like swiping through, and like, what are you learning from me? It's like, you haven't, it's like, also my age range is set to like 38 to 55. Like, why are you
Why am I seeing these children?
Right. This is random. Like, well, just give it a shot. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I don't want to. No, the apps are, the internet is ruining everything.
I don't understand the cougar economy. Like, is the woman expected to pay?
I hope not.
When I was in Europe doing the clothes selling, there was this one young Colombian guy who was like, he would disappear for days at a time because he was just hooking up with all these like older Italian women in Porsches and, you know, going to be on their boats for a couple of days at a time. I'm like, that's what's up.
No, totally.
If you're going to be a cougar with boat money,
Right.
fine. I could do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm not like babysitting and paying.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not here to show you the way. If I've got the boat money, sure, fine. Then
If I've
we'll
got
do
boat
that.
money,
Right.
fine. I'll
Yeah.
just be handing out snacks.
Right, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
Mama's gonna make
There
it
you go.
rain. You get snacks. Here's your little fruit cup and my pussy cup
Right.
and an allowance.
Here's your allowance for the week. Yeah, no, I don't have. Yeah, I barely have enough. I barely have an allowance for myself at this point. So yeah, it's gonna have to be. I've got to find a sugar daddy or
A sugar baby
or a woman
who
with a
wants
boat.
to pay.
I need to find a man or a woman with a boat. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? To give me an allowance.
I saw
You know?
somebody on field that's like, I have a boat. I'm like, do you?
Right, exactly.
I'm like, can't anyone
Right,
just
nothing
type
on here is
anything?
verified. Right, nothing on here is verified.
Whatever.
I don't even know if you really are heteroflexible. You know what I mean? Like,
What does that mean?
It
What's
means
up with
nothing.
all these men that are like, it's like, just be gay. If you're gay, just be gay.
Well, it's just like of all the options that you can pick, it's like that one just seems the most like, you know what I mean?
Like, I mean,
I'm
I'd let a
straight.
dude
I'm
suck my
straight.
dick.
Right.
If he was like beautiful.
Right. No. Yeah, everyone seems to be traumatized by the heteroflexible identifiers on
Heteroflexible
field.
is a red flag
Yeah.
for me, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's no longer fuckboy. That you know it's a fuckboy if they identify as heteroflexible.
Even fuckboys are like, I'm straight.
Right. It's like, okay.
Because you can't
Totally.
be like
Me too, bro.
queer exploring. Just
If you said questioning, it's like, even if you said questioning, I'd be like, okay,
it out.
something's been ignited in you. This like heteroflexible thing is just like you're
Sounds like
tamping,
you'd
you're more so
accommodate.
tamping something down. Yeah, you're like, oh, I could do. You're like, I won't freak out if I see a dick. You know what I mean? Like it's
You know,
like okay,
I'll make myself enjoy the orgy, which I have a lot of experience in. I'm a big orgy guy. Where are these orgies happening?
I don't know. No one's ever invited me one. And it's okay. You don't really have to, but.
I
you're
mean,
good.
if anybody wants to send us links to an orgy, I'd love to at least like know the deets. This sex party, the production was insane, and it was so funny because my friend who invited me, she's like, her name was Emily probably, and she was like, oh my god, Sonal, it's going to be so wild. It's going to be so wild. Oh my god, and I'm like, I think for you, I feel like it's gonna be pretty chill for me. Like, I'm gonna be high.
You're like, I have a job to do.
I was like, yeah, I'm there for safety. I don't know what you're going for. What kind of wild shit? They had this whole like vagina that was built that like you could climb in, and there was like all these couples kissing. They had a grope box. That was fun. You could like get in and out of the grope box. So I was like, you know, you just put your hands in there and you're like, I got a dick. Ah! And then this guy came into the grope box when I was in there, and he's like, I want to shag you. And I just started laughing because I'm like, bro, nobody says that, do they?
Yeah,
Is that
no.
you guys talk for real? Okay, Austin Powers, let's go. Let's get shagadelic. I mean, I like to laugh.
Oh my
I like
God.
to laugh. There are times when it's like, okay, let's just fuck.
Yeah, but I am also I'm one of those too. It's like we're not joking. That's part of my process too. It's like we are joking around a little bit. Like we can't. This is also just a very awkward thing. You know what I mean? Like we're fully naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things are farting. You know, like
Yeah.
there's lots of different noises and sounds and smells and everything. It's like just get into it. You know what I mean? Like it's funny. Our bodies are
no
funny.
one should be
Still
embarrassed
hot, but
by
funny.
no one should ever be embarrassed by a queef. No one should ever be embarrassed by a queef.
Okay, I will say though, it's like I try to just be like it's a normal thing, but then I'm just like, oh, it's just like, oh my god.
I
You know
think
what I mean?
it should be a compliment to the guy. Like you ramming air up in
Right,
there,
yeah,
dude.
you're really getting
You're really getting it. You have trapped a pocket of air inside my pussy.
You're doing something. I
That's-
don't know what. I thought you were just in and out, but you're doing something.
You're not in
Yeah,
it.
you're
You're
right,
not
you're
just in
moving
and out.
around, yeah.
You're actually manipulating the atmosphere to
No, yeah.
create.
Yeah, if you're
a
queefing,
pressure
he
release.
knows what he's doing. You know,
And also that like body slap
if your
sound.
pussy's, you know what I mean.
And if you're
Just-
getting like the body fart sounds,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
like that is so funny. That's so
right, and
funny.
it's hard to not get taken out. It's like, and I'm just fighting, especially like having ADD. It's just like fighting to not. It's like just keep focused. It's like I'm trying to come. I'm trying
And
to
if
come.
you
Just
can't
focus.
maintain an erection because you're laughing, you have bigger issues.
Yeah, that's not on me, bro. Once again, projection.
you know, like you got to be able to. It goes through its phases, right? It's like it goes up and then down, peaks and valleys, and valleys. You know, you peak sometimes, and if you hit a valley, you can't. You know, when the erection goes away and you see the boy, man, whatever, you know, be like, oh, this never happens.
Right.
You're like, well, that's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Let's troubleshoot this. Panic.
Right. It's like, okay. Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I definitely want to put my mouth on it now that you're just like, you know what I mean? You're like on the verge of tears because you lost it.
Do you have girlfriends that are like full on coming out lesbians like later in life?
I
have quite a few.
I know a few people that have, yeah. I feel like in the last few years, I feel like I'm going through that currently too. I feel like I'm that friend for some people.
Yeah,
currently.
I mean, yeah, women
Never said that out loud. Oh
women
my God.
can do like the gayest shit, and it's not gay. Like we're just conserving water. We're just practicing.
No, yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, that's just a gay thing.
And you know how it's like, have you eaten pussy though? Have you eaten pussy? Like there are so many men that identify as straight that have never gone down on a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Like DJ Khaled. Did you know that?
Another one
that I won't do.
No, it's like, bro. Yeah, no. He's like, oh, I would never, and it's just like,
why?
Oh God, the patriarchy. That's why.
Poor DJ Khaled. He's a victim.
Yeah, he's a victim of the patriarchy.
That's what we're here to say. He's a failure.
It's like men aren't the problem. They're just a victim of the patriarchy. That's just what it is.
He's like, I gotta be tough and hetero inflexible. That's hetero inflexibility. Yeah. Like I won't even kiss like, the vagina.
Yeah, because that would be kissing the vagina would be gay. Like that doesn't make. I don't get it. It doesn't.
How
make
much
any
straighter
sense.
can you get?
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Just put some.
It's very much.
Put some snacks down there for him. Then he'd like it. Put some like cheese crackers.
That's where like the candy, the food underwears come into play.
Nobody's got him edible underwear.
No,
Nobody's
that's all he needs.
Tricked DJ Khaled. Like there's a snack down there for you besides the pussy.
Right.
You'll like it.
I don't know what else he likes, but yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like, what do you like? Twix? You know what I mean? Like what do you like? What do we need to put in there?
Gold chains.
Right. Are you a Sour Patch guy? Like what do you?
He looks like he'd eat a sour sugary.
First it's sour, then it's sweet.
So ladies, you can be gay and not feel pressured,
right? You can
to confront the pussy,
right?
You know, baby steps. Scissoring's a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
You could start a forest fire. So these coochies rubbing up against each other sometimes, but that's if it's dry. So you want to make sure that there's some good
just lubricated
moisture happening.
Yeah, just have Sonal to speak Italian.
Cosa mia, bella cara mia, vieni qua. Ti faccio sentire. Ti faccio
Not
sentire.
The eyebrows.
That just means I make you feel. It's so funny. You can say nothing. Mamma mia, pizza, pomodoro.
No, yeah, just If he's not going down there, then you're not going down there. That's the rule. I saw that written in a bathroom recently.
That's a good rule.
If he's not going down on you, then you're not going down on him. And it's like, okay, well, that's not what they said. I think they said if he's not eating your pussy, then you're not sucking his dick.
Just
and
bite his dick off. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. He's not going down on you, then bite his dick off.
No, yeah. Well,
did you know that there are gay men giving bad blowjobs?
I can only imagine.
I only recently found this out. And I'm like, you guys can't even be honest with each other. We're so fucked. We're so fucked. You can't be like, how's that feel? How's that feel, babe? Like, oh, I love it. I love so much teeth.
Oh my.
Why can't you just be like, that doesn't feel good? I'm going to advocate for myself and what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, just but so once again, feel the things, be for real. Just be for real. For like,
just be real.
Just say it. It's okay. Right. Just be honest and just like see what happens. It'll be okay. There might be some repercussions, but it's okay. Just be honest. And now that they're just like, oh yeah, whatever. I don't know.
It's like, oh, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So it's like, that is a perpetuation of toxic masculinity right there.
Cause it's like, is it the feelings? I don't even know. Oh my God, you're gonna have to come back for part 2 when we break down
part 2 where we discuss the conversation around bad smells. Like, why can't we tell each other, like, bro, what is that? Oh, you need to freshen up.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Just start handing out deodorant. That's because it came up at the show last night. It's like, what do we do with this conversation with bad smell? And it was like, because people, I'm always telling people when they smell good, I'm like, you smell good. Make a note. This is what it smells like when I smell good. And people are like, oh, that's so weird. I'm like, no, you know what's fucking weird? All these musty ass motherfuckers. And nobody says anything.
Yeah, and they're just like walking around. It's like having something in your teeth. It's like it sucks to tell that person that they have something in their teeth, but like the second you tell them, it's just an uncomfortable thing because you know they're like,
because you can see it and they can't, and you don't want. And I mean, I'm just the one with my pinky nail like in there. I'm like, I don't do coke. You're good. Yeah. I'm like, there are no drugs on my pinkies. You'll be fine.
Right. Just yeah.
And people are like, oh my god, thank you so much. I feel like that's generally the response. You know, they're not like,
yeah, like, oh, thank you.
Why would you do that?
Exactly.
Why would you bring us both into this uncomfortable moment? You know, because I went out with this guy and he was so smelly, like from the neck up. His hair, it was so smelly. And one of my girlfriends was like, I mean, you're just gonna have to get over that. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not. And then another girlfriend was like, no, that's like your pheromones being like, you need to get your pussy, you need to get your womb and get the fuck out of there. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's like, we are not a match. We are not a match. And
also,
like,
you stink.
and biology is telling us this.
Also, you're not masking the funk nasty smell with eucalyptus oil. Like, it smells like eucalyptus oil trying to cover a natural disaster.
God.
We can smell the disaster. Idiot.
From a mile away.
Oh my God. It was like, don't say that. That's so rude. You're going to hurt his feelings. I'm like, no, he is offensive.
Someone needs to tell him.
Walking through the world. And everybody's like, no, don't say anything. No.
Right. It's like, I mean, yeah, because it's like, okay, once you finally are told, it's like you've been walking around this for like a year and no one said anything.
Or like 28 years.
Right. And no one said anything to you. It's like, which would be worse? It's like, I wish I could have just fixed it. Yeah. No. Oh my God.
When we rap, we're doing names.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, you got to tell me. I didn't know. I'm nosy as hell. I'm nosy as hell.
But we're gonna protect the smelly identities.
On this. My identity is fucked, but we'll protect everything.
Our artistic integrity will be maintained.
Yes,
we are gossip whores, but not on the pod.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, yeah. Oh yes, entirely. But we do have boundaries here on Failure Pod. Unfortunately, but no, I'm gonna start a new one called Name and Names.
DM us.
Yeah. Send in your stories. Give us their address, everything. Give us everything you know about them. Social security number.
Put
like, tell us everything.
On blast.
But no, yeah. But no, okay. On that note, I feel like this is the perfect way to end it. But okay, so the way that we like to end this podcast. This has been such a fun episode. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Once again, I'm just like the light of Sonal, but you're like,
I smell good. Yes.
I'm like, I don't know if I do. I do not.
I know, and shower. I don't. But a 75-degree day, I was like, oh Jesus, I'm getting.
Every time I would stand up, it was just my crotch was sweaty. I was like, I hate this. I was like, I just hate it.
I also feel like I go through different moments with my period where I'm like, it smells mad lemony today.
Oh,
do you ever get like lemon period?
No, I don't.
I mean,
citrus.
It's not an unpleasant smell, but I'm like, it's so citrusy. Like day 2, 3, I don't know. It's been happening in the last couple of cycles. And then there are days where you're like, this is not a nice citrus smell.
No. This is some moldy lemon. Well, on that note, how we like to end the podcast, the royal we like to end this podcast is we like to send our listeners off with like a mantra of the week. So basically just like something you've heard, a phrase that you have for yourself, but just like those times when it's like shit has hit the fan and you're just like, what do you say to yourself to just sort of like get through it? You know what I mean?
Suck it up, you little pussy bitch. Breathe. Big breathing. So that's real. That's a real mantra. And then the other real that I will add for some gravitas, that I've been on the topic of grief lately. People are dying, man. And grief is the sister emotion of gratitude. Because to feel loss is actually an expression of such deep love that you love something so
Yeah.
much to feel separated from it is the experience of grief. But to feel that deep love is actually an expression of gratitude, because to have loved so deeply and to have lost. So remember, you're actually so lucky to love so deeply. So suck it up, you little pussy bitch.
So suck it up, you little pussy bitch. Well, on that note, thank you so. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to?
When's this coming out?
In the next month or so.
Oh, awesome. I'm around Sonal Media on all social medias. SONAL. Sonal, like personal. God, it's not a good Hollywood name.
You got to change it.
I gotta change it. Follow me at Ed Sheeran.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, so yes, follow Sonal. You'll get tagged.
Do you think Ed smells okay? I hope so.
No, he looks like he smells nasty.
He looks like he smells nasty.
Well, yeah, I'm not a fan. He looks like he's just been getting. You also reach a certain level of fame, and no one's telling you shit. You know what I mean? So he probably smells like shit. Or whatever. Maybe
somebody
he doesn't.
tell him.
You know who does smell good? Rihanna. So on that note,
yeah, she does.
she smells amazing. I would love to
Smells
smell
like
that smell
oil
one day.
Bazaar.
But no, on that note, this has been another episode of Failure with me, Kenya Alon. Thank you, Sonal. Thanks for doing the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody. Bye.
It could be worse.